Hey, thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be creating a lead re-engagement automation. The purpose of this automation is basically to turn cold leads back to warm leads or unqualify them. This happens a lot where you have thousands of leads or hundreds of leads that just go months and months with no one actually following up with them. And this is just a way to basically help your sales force by automatically following up and unqualifying these leads that are dormant or that may be dead. A lot of the times we get leads that just say, hey, I'm just looking around, I'm just thinking about it, and we just never hear back after multiple attempts, and they kind of just fall through, right? So we're gonna go ahead and create, first of all, the segment, right? Who do we want to target? Now you could make this as so in this case we're gonna want to go ahead and select contact status is set to lead. So I want to get, in my case, I want to get all of my leads that I have not received a call from within the last 90 days. So we're going to go ahead and put that, or I have not received a text from within the last 90 days. And then anybody that hasn't emailed me within the last 90 days. Or I have received a text message or I received a phone call, right? So this is going to be all my leads with no inbound activity for 90 days. So this is who I'm going to select. As I mentioned, you can customize this. You can also, select different mediums. So this is my segment that I've created. Now we're going to go ahead and create the flow itself. So let's go to automations. Let's click new automation. Let's select, let's call this lead re-engagement. We're going to go ahead and select the segment we just created. So leads with no inbound activity for 90 days. Let's go ahead and jump to workflow. So the first thing we're going to want to do, we're going to want to check what day of the week it is, right? We're going to go ahead and send them a text message to all these leads that I haven't spoken to in 90 days that I haven't called back. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's a weekday first. Okay. Now let's go ahead and close this. Then I'm going to go ahead and make sure we're within a good time range. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I want to make sure, if I'm going to text them, that it's business hours when I text them. And then let's go ahead and send them a text message. Now, for my text message template, I'm going to select still interested. Basically saying, hey, just wanted to check up with you if you're still interested in our phone call, right? Then I'm going to wait a couple of days. So let's go ahead and wait for 5 days. And then I'm also going to send them an email, just double checking through this medium. Maybe they might actually reply if they're still interested. Then I'm going to wait another 7 days. And at that point, if they don't reply, I'm just going to go ahead and unqualify them, okay? So it gives them a little breathing room for them to actually reply. And you don't necessarily have to mark them as unqualified. You can mark them as dormant leads, that leads you could, you may still want to keep them in a separate list, right? They didn't say yes, they didn't say no, you just never heard back, right? So that's up to your workflow. Now you could also extend this, adding more steps, more text messages, more emails, nurturing them in separate ways before you reach this point. In this case, I'm just basically cleaning out my list and just saying, hey, let's check with all these dormant leads that we haven't heard from in 90 days. Let's check on, see if they're still interested. If they don't reply to the text or the email, then let's go ahead and just unqualify them and move on to new business, right? So that's what I'm doing here. But as I mentioned, you can customize that based on your workflow. Now, depending how aggressive and how long this is, you may want to have some stops in case they reply. So the next email, let's say you texted them, so the email doesn't trigger in case they reply. And the way we do that is we're going to go ahead and create a separate branch over here. It's basically saying, if we get a phone call, if we get an event of email, in the event of an email, a text message from anyone in this automation, So let's go ahead and connect this. Whoops. So in the event of any of these three, a new email, a new text message, or a new phone call, let's go ahead and pause the automation. So, it'll automatically stop the second email or the other steps from taking place, right? The update the status and all that stuff from taking place. It's just going to pause it and end it at that point. And basically you can take over your lead, right? So that's it, so that's basically your flow here that we're creating. As I mentioned, you can get us creative and extend it to whatever steps you want from there. But really it all lies on the key of this segment, right? Being able to know, having the context of the last time you spoke with your leads, it's extremely helpful to be able to trigger this type of campaigns to make sure nothing's falling through the cracks. And a lot of our customers love it because they're working, they're in their day-to-day leads, and this is just running in the background, right? It's texting, it's emailing some of these leads in the background every day the moment they meet those parameters. So, you may have a new lead right now, but if you don't hear from them within 90 days, it's automatically going to get added to this segment, and it's automatically going to trigger this workflow. So now at this point, it's just going to be done for you while your sales rep, your sales team is focused on the new business, right? If somebody does reply, then your sales team takes over. Now this will take into account whoever owns the lead. It's going to be triggering the text messages and the emails from the owner. So just keep that in mind. You may, other companies, what they do is they might, instead of unqualify the lead, they could reassign the lead to somebody else to take that over and give it a try, right? Some last person. Those are some ideas there that you can do. But and I would strongly suggest always adding a task to also call that lead just in case, right? If you do have the manpower, if you do have that ability, throw in a task there to make sure, hey, let's just follow up before we unqualify it. But if you do want everything automated, this is the way to do it. All right. Well, thank you very much. Please let us know if you have any questions. Let's go ahead and hit start.